Hello everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to show you how to create a basic layout using HTML and CSS. So now if we take a look at the code, you'll notice that on line 13 I have a div called container with a class container, alright? And inside of that div I have some other divs. So you see I have a div with a class called header and a left div, so I'll have like a column that's aligned to the left, and then I'll have a div in the middle, and we will have a div at the right side, and maybe we will add a footer. So now we will start with the container first. So we are going to click on my style.css. So this is my style, my CSS style. So you see right here at the top left I have used the asterisk to select everything. So that basically says select everything. And I have said book sizing border box, so our calculations will be more accurate. And I said margin 0 pixels, so we will not have margins between our divs. So you can get rid of that, but I'm gonna keep it like that for now. But I think I'll just have to remove this because this is optional. So you see we have our divs here, so the header, the left, and the mid, and the right. So now, the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to select the whole container. So I'm going to say dot container, so dot container, alright? So we have selected that specific class container, which contains all of our divs. So I can say, for example, width 900 pixels, alright? So I'm going to start with 900 pixels. And we will add some height here. So, oops, what did I do? So, height, colon. I'm going to say 900 pixels too. Alright? And right now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add some background color just to see how it looks like. So, I'm going to say aquamarine. Okay? So, you see, because we have margins set to 0, it fulfills everything. So I'm gonna get rid of that. So you see we have some margin there. You see if I add it there, it adds the margin there, and if I just remove it, you see there is some margins around the div. And now if we view it, so this is 900 pixels. Alright, so we have that there. Now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna say display block. So display block. By the way, you will be able to change the colors whenever you want, but I'm going to stick with aquamarine for now. And let's go and move on. So now I have 3 divs, alright? So I have a header here first. Actually, I'm going to start with the header. So if we take a look at the header, so dot header, if I type in dot header, and if I open 2 curly braces, now I have selected that specific div, which is this one. This is header, and I can say, for example, background color, and let me change it to something brown. Alright, and then we can say font size, for example. So I'm going to start with font size 36 pixels. Alright, so you see I have that there. I'm going to align the text center. So we have a header there, and if we take a look at it, it looks like that. So this is the first header. You can add an image or whatever you want there, but I'm gonna keep it like that. I'm not gonna add any margin there for now or height, so I'm gonna keep it like that. So now I'm gonna start with the left div. So if we take a look at the HTML, you see I have a div called left div, and I'm gonna say dot left div, open 2 curly braces. So I can say, for example, width. Alright, so right here we have to be a little bit careful, because you see our container, or our the container that contains all of our web page is 900 pixels. So this one, if I divide 900 by 3, so if I want 3 columns, I'll have to add 300 pixels. So 300 pixels, alright? So 300 pixels, and this is, since it's the left div, I can say float left. float left, and background color, let me change it to something else. So let me change it to blue. So now I'm gonna add some height here. So height 900. So I added the height here just to show you, do you know the height? I mean, if you don't add height, you know, it will just stretch itself based on what content you add. So right now we have taken care of the left div. Now I'm gonna start with the mid div. Alright, so the mid div. Well, the mid div is, you know, a little bit tricky because, you know, we'll have to use the margins left and right to center that div. So I'm gonna say dot mid div. So mid div, I think it's like that. So let me make sure that, so mid div. Alright, so MID and then div. Yeah, just like that. Alright, so I just want to make sure that the name is correct. And now I can say, for example, margin. Actually, I'm going to start with display block. So display block, alright. Then margin left, so margin dash left. I'm going to say auto, alright. And let me add some width here. So width 300 pixels. And height 900 pixels. And I'm gonna say, for example, background color. Let me choose a color here. So let me just go with crimson. So you see now it's aligned to the right side because I only have the margin dash left auto. But now if I want it to be perfectly centered, I can add the margin dash right auto. So you see now we have our header here, and we have the left div and the mid div. Alright, so we have taken care of that one too. So now I want to add, let's see, I want to add another column here, or the right one. So I can say, for example, dot right div. So dot right div. I think it's just like that. So let me make sure that the name is correct. Yeah, so dot right div. I can say the width 300 pixels and background color, let me change it to yellow, and I can say float right, and I can say, for example, height. So height, I'm gonna change it to 900 pixels, just like the other ones. So now if we take a look at it, you'll see that our div is kind of down here. So to fix this, instead of saying display block for the one in the middle, we can say display inline block. So let's see if that's gonna fix. So inline dash block. So you see for the div middle, we just said inline block and it has fixed it. So now we have 3 divs and they are aligned next to each other. And I think I'm gonna add a footer here at the bottom. So I can say, I can just copy one of the divs here, still inside of the container, by the way. And I can say, you know, I'm just going to copy this one and paste it. So I'm going to say footer. So footer, alright? So we have the footer, and I'm going to change the class name to footer. So footer, alright? So we have that there, and we'll have to style that one. So I'm going to say dot footer. So dot footer. Alright, so dot footer, and you can say, for example, width 900 pixels. Alright, just like the container, because I want it to start from the left all the way to the right. And I can say, for example, let's see, height 100 pixels. Alright, and then background color, let's see, I'm gonna go with curl. Alright, so you see we have a footer here. Maybe it's too much, like 100 pixels for the height. I'm going to change to 50. Alright, so 50 pixels. Yeah, this is going to be fine. And I can say text align center. Alright, something like that. So you see I have a footer here. And maybe we want to add a navigation. So it's up to you if you want to add, you know, if you want to, for example, give more space to the div middle. So you'll have to simply, you know, decrease the amount of the width from one div and give it to another div. So for example, if you want the mid div to have more space, you can go to the mid div, for example, and you can change it to 500. All right, so if I change it to 500, but before I add here, I'm gonna take out numbers from the left div and the right div. So let's take 100 from the left div, for example. So this will be 200. All right, 200 pixels. And the right div, I'm gonna change it to 200. So we have 200 in our hand right now. So I can give it to the one in the div, the middle div. So the middle div, I can say width 500 because we have taken out 200 from the left and the right, and we added it to the one in the middle. All right. So you see now we have that here, and let's say that you want to add another, you probably need to add another div for the navigation. You can do that by coming just right under the header. You can just copy a div, you can paste it here, and you can say nav. Alright, so I'm gonna call it nav, and this will be the navigation. Alright, so navigation. Then I'm gonna select that, so I'm gonna say .nav. So .nav, I'm gonna add a background color here. So let me just add a random color. Let me add something not light, maybe deep sky blue, and I can say, for example, width 900 pixels. Alright, and height, let's see, height 100 pixels. Alright, 100 is too much maybe, but it's fine with me. I mean, I can always come here and fix it to 50 or whatever I want to do. And now let's save this and let's view it. So you see we have our layout here. We have the header, we have a div that will hold the navigation bar, and we have 3 divs next to each other, and we have the footer. And now we will be able to center this. So we want to have our page centered. So you see now our layout is aligned to the left, and whenever I zoom in and zoom out, it's aligned to the left. So I want it to be aligned centered. So to do that, it's really easy to center the web page, because we have contained everything inside of a container. So this is our container. You see we have created a div and we added the class container here, and we basically placed all of our web page content inside of that div. So to center that, you see right here I have that selected here already. So the dot container is already here. I can say margin dash left auto. Alright, and margin dash right auto. So you see now, if I save this, let's see. So you see everything will be centered because we have set the display to block. Alright, and margin left auto and margin right auto, and also we have a width which is 900 pixels. So if we save this and refresh it, you will notice that our web page will be perfectly centered. Alright, so I think this is it for this video, everyone, and you can download this layout from the link in the description below. So just click on it and you'll be able to get this layout and do whatever you want to do with it. Alright, so in the next video maybe we'll add more stuff here. We'll try to improve it. Alright, so I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'm out.